This guy, hilarious. Last year, he didn't want me to say this, but I'm going to tell you. He comes second in the San Francisco International Comedy Competition. That's a feat right there. Even getting into it. Give a big round of applause. This guy's hilarious. Alex Koll.
You guys stopped applauding right when I hit the microphone. Just fucking dialing it in. We're doing just about as much effort as we need to, and that's it. How's it going, everybody? Good. Good to see you, too. My name is Alex. You guys might recognize me from the book I just wrote. Oh, no, he did not. A Sassy Guide to Atheism. Such a dry subject. I'm trying to liven it up with a little bit of and some of that, you know what I'm saying? And it's doing good. So I'm working on a second book. It's called That Shit's Cray, which is about creationism. Have high hopes for that. I also have a new book coming out called Left Hangin'. It's a mystery about a guy who went up for a high five. Fucking never came down. Nobody knows where he is. Gonna be real suspenseful. I was just in Denver for an entire week. I was doing shows out there in Denver. Did 8 shows in Denver, and I did those 3 jokes right up front every night. Except when I got to the end of it, I changed it up just a little tiny bit, everybody. Before that last joke, I said, "Religious people, I didn't forget you either. I got a new book coming out called Left Hangin'." And then everybody in the audience would groan really hard. And I never got them back the entire show. It was like an uphill climb the whole time. And I could not figure out what was happening. And then I got to the Sunday night, the very last show of the week. And it dawned on me. I was like, oh, I've been coming out here every night and making what I thought was a kind of clever joke about the rapture. A guy who goes up for a high five and never comes down. Because he ascended. Because as we all know, when you go up top for JC, that's the highest five of all, everybody. Right? That's adorable. That may not be funny, but it's adorable. That's not what Denver heard. I'm fairly certain now that Denver heard a fairly aggressive Jesus joke. Left hanging, everybody. Oh, you fucking get it? I didn't fucking get it for an entire week, everyone. I didn't know what I was doing. It was crazy. And then somebody told me that Denver has like a huge born-again population. Evidently, they used to have a football player that would pray before he makes football or whatever the fuck you do. I don't know about either of those two things, so I didn't fucking get it. But evidently what was happening is I was coming out in a city I don't live in front of people I don't know, and instead of saying, "Hey, everybody, how's it going?" I was saying, "I fucking hate Jesus!" in what was basically a church with a 2-drink minimum every night. So that's just my way of saying I'm real fucking happy to be back in San Francisco right now. Because you guys laughed at that shit. And it was kind of funny, right, everybody? Think about the way this. I mean, I've been traveling around a lot and using language. I can't fucking use language all of a sudden. Lately. I was in New York and I got this feeling. I was walking on the street and I was like, this is where America starts. Think about like how everything was established, where everything started from, the history, the people. I was like, fucking, this is where America starts. And then I got back to this city and I was like, this is where America stops. Like voluntarily. Like this is where America smokes a joint and watches a ceiling fan for a while. And I was like, fuck it, I'll be America later. I don't really give a shit right now. Maybe I'll go to forestry college for a while. I don't know. I'm kind of undecided. Some of you guys go to forestry college over here? A little too close to home. Am I really the hot button issues right now? Everybody's up here talking politics and all this immediate shit. I can't talk I don't talk politics on stage because at this point in my life, I have no fucking idea where my opinions come from anymore. Evidently, I'm walking through life like intellectual flypaper, just absorbing other people's opinions. And then just spitting them out without any footnoting or sourcing at all. And then when somebody calls me on my argument, I just falls apart immediately. Like, Obama's just in the pocket of these Wall Street billionaires at this point. Oh, where did you hear that, Alex? I don't know, a fucking text message? Why so many questions? What are you, from the MMA? That's not even a government organization, Alex. That's mixed martial arts. You should watch the news every once in a while. I don't watch the news, because every time I do, it's always breaking news. Have you noticed that? And I think if the news is always breaking news, the news is just fucking broken at that point. It's just not real news. Anybody in here like sports at all? Just 3 people, it sounds like. Everybody else doesn't fucking care. I don't either. I don't give a shit about sports at all. And it's just because I never found a way to relate. And I have those friends that are like really into sports, and when you tell them you don't like it, they're like, "What's fucking wrong with you?" And I'm like, God damn. It's just because I was a little fat kid with barely a gender. Yeah, I had these kitty titties and a weird curly mullet. And it was like, are you blossoming into manhood or womanhood? Would you fucking pick a side at this point? Because it's getting a little late in the game. You should choose. And plus, pace your breathing, because you're starting to sweat pepperoni oil, and that smells good. And I'm hungry, and that's weird. And that shit happened to me in junior high, which is an awful time for that to happen socially. And plus, It's Pat was on Saturday Night Live at the time. Yeah, that's a big bonus, right? Right. Because what that meant was that girls I don't know would come up to me in the hallway and be like, "Do you even have genitals?" And I was like, I don't know at this point. I don't fucking really. And all my friends got on the sports train at that point, the sports fan train, and that train just left the station, and I was a chubby little mystery running behind the train like, "Oh, my sandwiches are on there, guys! Oh, this is a scene from every PE class I ever took. What happened, Alex? I put my shorts on too fast. Oh, my God!" And I get it, there's probably plenty of good life metaphors in sports, but I'm not going to catch up now. Why do I want to learn about things that have 2 goals most of the time when I have no goals most of the time in my life? However, a couple years ago, my friends dragged me out to see the Giants during the big World Series streak. Yeah, whatever. Did you miss the whole point of my story? And we sat in the bleachers, and nobody ever told me what a giant drunken shit show party the bleachers are. And yeah, that turns out to be something I can totally relate to. Because it's like 20 minutes into the game, and I have no idea what's going on the field, but I'm high-fiving strangers like, "Yeah, sports! What's up? Balls!" I don't know. And everybody in the bleachers is super loud. There's like 7 dudes behind me that are huge and like kind of thugged out and yoked, just strong, and they're just yelling at the field like, "Suck it! And the Reds are fat!" And then the stadium cops would come around and tell them to shut up, and then everybody in the bleachers would throw shit at the cops and tell them to shut up. And I'm like, baseball's amazing so far. This is like a riot with peanut vendors. I didn't even know. So like 30 minutes into the game, my buddy Chris, who you guys saw earlier, he stands up all of a sudden like lightning, and he's like, and a cockroach drops out of his shirt and hits the ground running, and he screams, "Cockroach!" And one of the huge thug dudes goes, "Oh shit, where, dog?" like that, and like jumps up on the bench like olive oil in a Popeye cartoon. And we let it slide. And then like 8 benches back, there's all this commotion. And we turn around, and there's one drunk baseball fan, like an average looking dude, and he's got a beer cup, and he's holding it like this. Because he caught the roach. That's not all. He's got everybody's attention, so he proceeds to reach in and plop it in his mouth and drink it down with an entire beer. Yeah. You're right. The bleachers have never seen such a goddamn hero in their entire lives. Everybody loses their mind. They start chanting his name. Anton! Anton! So we just join in. We're like, Anton! Anton! And then the Giants score a home run. Okay? And everybody in the bleachers is completely convinced that these two events are totally related. Like one caused the other, and I'm like, there's fucking voodoo in this game too? This is insane. And it just spreads like wildfire. Some guy at the end of the row jumps up and he's got another one. Turns out they're not cockroaches, they're crickets, because it's hot out. And they're out in droves, and this guy isn't even drunk. He's just crazy, because he goes like this. And then they score another home run. I swear to God. And just as an aside, let's all talk about San Francisco weather for a few minutes, okay? Everybody knows that when everyone else has a summer day in the middle of the year, we get this shitty gray cloud that sits on the city like an elephant's butthole and won't go away. And if that sticks around for more than like 5, like even 2 days, some guy, apropos of nothing, out of the blue, will always come up to you and spit out this Mark Twain quote, thinking he's sounding smart. And some of you know it, and if you don't, now I have to be the dick to say it. Someone will always come up to you and say, you know, the coldest winter I ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. Fuck that dude. Not just does it sound pretentious, but I looked it up, and Mark Twain never said that. It's a misquote. It's about Paris. And I don't think we have summer or winter at that point. I think we get this weird 5th season nobody else in the world gets called Faugust. June and July become 1 month called Glum, and then it just disappears into Faugust. And then at the end we get like 5 days of intense heat, and everybody loses their mind because nobody has an air conditioner in this city. And then it's like, it's 4 a.m. and everybody is in the street like Night of the Living Dead, just wandering around like, I don't know what to do with myself. Sleeping is broken. Is Rainbow Grocery open? Because I think organic figs and flax will fix this, but I don't know. Can I suck on your dreadlock? I'm desperate. And that's what happened. It was like hot out and crickets were out and people were eating crickets at the ballpark because they were crazy from the heat, but it was working like magic and it was on our side. And some guy jumped up and he had another one. Bam, we get another home run. Anton ate 3, we got another 2 home runs out of that. Some lady jumped up and she was like, there's no gender barriers in this city. Bam, feminist home run, best fucking kind. And I'm tweeting everything. I'm like 7 down. And then some guy in front of me eats one, I'm like, up to 8. And then he barfs, and I'm like, back to 7. I don't know. It's just good journalism. At the end, things got blurry. I think the Giants won like 16 runs. There were 20 crickets consumed across 18 people. And I had 9 churros that day, everybody. Because the fat kid never fucking dies. That's why. I think Mark Twain said that best. Thank you guys very much. Have a good night.